everyone, Ryan Young, Kama Jiu-Jitsu. And I wanted to switch gears a little bit this time. Not necessarily go into Jiu-Jitsu like we normally do. Thought I'd try something else this time and see if it takes hold. If it takes hold, we'll continue on with it. If not, that's fine too. One of the subscribers said on one of the comments was that the bit of advice that I gave in a video having to do with jiu-jitsu, in fact this happened more than once or twice, that the commenter had said that, you know, this bit of advice you gave works well in everyday life as well. And I found that to be true. There are many lessons I've taken from jiu-jitsu that have helped me in life. And in fact, when I speak to my teenage son, a lot of things that he's going through, that I went through as well, would have been a lot better for me had I been training jiu-jitsu. And what I'll do is I'll kind of relate a lot of things that I'm telling him to jiu-jitsu because he understands it, because he trains as well. That's one thing. So jiu-jitsu can affect your life in a very positive way. However, there are other things that I've done in life that have affected my jiu-jitsu. In particular, my teaching abilities in a positive way. One of those things is reading. And I read things. I go to various courses, anything, something that'll improve my life in some way. I don't look for things that improve necessarily my jiu-jitsu per se. I look for things that improve my life, and if it improves my life, it can then improve many facets of my life. The first thing, what I'm going to cover today, is a book. So yes, I'm going to do a book review. How's that, right? And this book, it's right here. It's called The Law of Success. And it's written by Napoleon Hill. Now, how did I come across this book? I really don't remember how I came across this book, but I remember when I was in college, I was reading those Tony Robbins books. And in fact, I even got one of my books signed by him. He was actually on my flight from Hawaii to California. So it's kind of a neat thing. I kind of did some research back, and I realized that he got a lot of his topics that he discusses from both Dale Carnegie and Napoleon Hill. Dale Carnegie and Napoleon Hill, they both kind of go over the same thing, but they do it in a different way. The book that I'm looking at here is Napoleon Hill's Law of Success. Now, those of you who have also looked into these kind of things might have looked at one of his books called Think and Grow Rich, which is really a truncated version of this book. This is actually his main book. Napoleon Hill came across this opportunity by meeting with Andrew Carnegie. Now, those of you who know Andrew Carnegie know that he is the steel magnate. He was one of the business titans, along with John Rockefeller, J.P. Morgan, Henry Ford a little later on, Cornelius Vanderbilt a little before him, who built America. The Industrial Revolution could not have happened without Andrew Carnegie. And when people talk about how successful these business titans were, and you look at business titans today, those business titans don't even compare to today's. Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, became what is known as the second $100 billion man, the first being Bill Gates. Bill Gates reached it a number of years early with Microsoft, and Jeff Bezos just hit it with Amazon this past week. Here we are in late November of 2017. Well, when Andrew Carnegie sold U.S. Steel to J.P. Morgan, he ended up with about $440 billion. And when John D. Rockefeller was forced by the U.S. court system to break his monopoly, which was his oil company, he was worth about $600 billion. So the type of money that we're talking, and these are inflation-adjusted dollars, of course. So the type of money that we're talking is levels above what today's business titans have been able to do. So Andrew Carnegie, in his old age, after he sold his company, decided that he wanted to give back. A lot of people who do jiu-jitsu, they give back in many ways. And the way that he decided he was going to give back was he was going to lay out his methodology for building his wealth. And what he said was that it's not rocket science, number one. And what he wanted to do was just teach somebody who was willing to undertake this task. And Napoleon Hill was that very gentleman. And the way Carnegie brought it up to him was basically, I'm going to give you a job that's going to take about 20 years for you to complete. And what you're going to do is you're going to take everything that I tell you and everything that my friends tell you, and you're going to lay it down in a series of lessons that will then be able to be marketed to the masses so they can become successful too if they choose to be, right? Everything is if you choose to be. And the result of Napoleon Hill's 20 plus years of work was Law of Success. I chose to go with this book, and I did read Think and Grow Rich, among other books, but I did choose to go with this particular book because it has everything in there. And I would rather have all the information and be able to choose certain parts of it than to not have all the information and be lacking somewhere. So with this book, they start you off in lessons. So this book alone has 4 volumes, and as far as the volumes, we'll have them on. We'll have the links that you can go and purchase this book if you want. This particular volume that I have is out of print, at least for now, and you can just buy the individual volumes. You buy the volume 1, the volume 2, 3, and 4 as well on Amazon. So we'll put the links up there, and you can go ahead and purchase it there. I just kind of want to go over volume 1. And this is not going to be long, but really it comes down to some important things that you need to know. And if you want more information, just go ahead and read the books. Lesson 1, Volume 1, the Introduction to the Mastermind. So what is the mastermind? It's really the thought that 1 plus 1 can equal more than 2. Synergy, that's another term, right? So as an example, in Jiu-Jitsu, you have a team, right? And what you do is you teach your team members, and you teach them to be independent. You give them the basic tools they need to be successful in Jiu-Jitsu, but also teach them to be independent and look for solutions on their own. And what will happen is, if everybody on the team has the goal of improving the level of Jiu-Jitsu on the entire team, that level will be taken higher than if you were trying to do it yourself. So as an example, a simple mount escape. We get the technique from your instructor, but it turns out that an individual may have another problem with that particular way of doing it. So this particular student, using the same core philosophy of the mount escape, adds a tweak or two here, which makes it better for him. Well, it turns out that tweak is a pretty significant tweak, and that he brings it up to his instructor and goes, hey, check this out. Look what I can do if I just do this little thing. Well, it turns out, whoa, that's kind of a breakthrough. Let's incorporate that in. And then this happens from other people in the school. It can be anybody. It could be a white belt that figures it out, or it could be another black belt. And what that does is it takes the original mount escape up to a higher level that they would have never thought possible individually. And that's where the mastermind principle plays in. It can be for anything in life. It could be for, what is a marriage? Right? A marriage between a husband and a wife is to build a household where the two of them put together can achieve more than the husband could alone or the wife could alone. That is an example of an everyday mastermind that we all have some kind of exposure to. Lesson 2, a definite chief aim. It's just focusing what you want and deciding, this is what I'm going to do, and nothing is going to stop me from getting it done. So my goal with this channel that you're watching is to give you what I have to educate you so that you can then make the choice that you want to make. Now, being that we have a lot of people commenting, a lot of people contributing, I am by no means the be-all and end-all in all this information. In fact, a lot of information has been contributed by you to help me, right? But it's my definite chief aim to make sure that I get this information out there. Because with regard to the traditional Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, I see it as dying. Right? Professor Dave, Kama, sees it as dying. Grandmaster Hickson sees it as dying. And what our aim through our various methods is to make sure this doesn't happen. Grandmaster Hickson has a JJGF, the Jiu-Jitsu Global Federation. The definite chief aim of that federation is to perpetuate and spread Gracie Jiu-Jitsu as he learned it from Grandmaster Elio, and get it away from the mindset of sport BJJ. And Kama Jiu-Jitsu's definite chief aim is to spread Dave Kama's and Grandmaster Hickson's Jiu-Jitsu. Lesson 3, self-confidence. Now, self-confidence, you have to look at, is something different from arrogance. When I was a kid, my wife, meaning when I was in college, my wife used to say, look at that Ryan, he's such an arrogant guy. And I used to kind of joke around with her and tell her, I'm not arrogant, I'm just supremely confident. Yeah, I was arrogant. I'll admit it. But really, you need self-confidence. And Jiu-Jitsu is one of those things that builds your self-confidence, right? If somebody were to attack you, if you know that you would be able to handle yourself in that situation, what do you think you could handle in life? With work. And I can't tell you how jiu-jitsu has helped me with my work. I can look at any task at work and I can say, I can do it. And if it's something that I may not want to do, I'll just say, I don't want to do it. And it's not that I can't do it. I mean, you can do anything you want so long as you put in the amount of work needed to be able to get that task done. The question is never, can I do something or can I not do something? The question is, do I want to allocate the time to get the background knowledge I need to be able to get that done? That's what self-confidence brings. Self-confidence says you can do anything you want. It's just a matter of, do you want to allocate time resources or money resources, or do you want to marshal up the personnel that you need to get something done? By reading this book and by learning about self-confidence, it then takes over in my jiu-jitsu, in that I'll give you an example. I just gave it to the students on Saturday when we were going over cross-side escapes. And these are two of my larger guys. They're each able to hold themselves down, but I can get out from under cross-side from each of them relatively easily. And the self-confidence comes in when somebody big and strong is on top of me, they're holding me down. I never tell myself, holy crap, I'm not going to get out of this, or how am I possibly going to get out of this? What I always tell myself is, holy crap, this guy's big, this guy's strong. It'll take me a little bit longer to get out. But it's never, can I get out, or I'm not going to get out, or never anything self-defeating in those words. It's always, I acknowledge the fact that he's a big, strong guy, and I acknowledge that it'll take me a little bit longer, but there's never any doubt in my mind that I'm going to get out. And it happens from every position, right? That's what self-confidence brings, right? And the last lesson in this is called the habit of saving. It really doesn't have anything to do with jiu-jitsu, but it does have something to do with life. All successful people all know how to save, and they're in that habit. So that was lesson 1, or volume 1, lesson 1 through 4 of this book. Now, like I said, we'll put a link below. You can go and order it over there and try and read it if you haven't already. If you have read it, go and mention something in the comments below and help us all out. If you want to improve your jiu-jitsu, you need to not only improve your body, you also need to improve your mind. This is one way that you can improve your mind. So hopefully that helps. Give us a thumbs up if you like it. If not, that's fine too. And I hope there's other things that I can help you with going forward. If this turns out to be something you like, the number of likes that I see will tell me whether or not this is something that I should do a volume 2, 3, or 4 after. I would love to do them, but it really comes up to you guys. You guys let me know what you want. And that's all I got for you. In the meantime, be safe, happy training, take care, bye-bye.